Here's a demo review for corn ducks, their Gullywash shrimp. Let's see what happens on mid-fight. Guys, go for a big door. Usually, what you want to do when you push aggressively on their side is it's usually ideal if your demo will delay a few seconds and then have your soldier bomb up to distract their demo so the rest of your team can walk in without taking an insane amount of spam from their demo. So usually you just want to sort of sit right here and wait, and then the instant your soldier bombs start walking up, so it'll just open up the side for you guys to walk in. I guess just got probably could have been more helpful if you'd ran up with the demo to make sure the demo lives, kill these people. Looked like their sniper lived throughout that entire mid. Something you usually want to do is have the spy or the scout or the soldier, like after they bomb, to immediately pressure into the sniper. Because if you just let the sniper stay alive and take free shots, that's pretty bad. Here you know their med lives, so they're going to be pushing with advantage. Oftentimes either sitting in big door when you know they have advantage, or sitting back by choke, or even just sort of by the nipple. It's pretty good. Back by choke is usually better because then you can contest them if they come big door or if they come choke. Here you do a good job of getting your med out alive though. Kill out their pyro. You manage to just sort of kite and get frags. And then you immediately sort of retake positioning. Here, I guess your soldier just dies to spam. Usually it'd be better, like, if the soldier's here to just bomb through the choke and just try to make space, and then every time we walk in. Usually it's not very safe for your med to be standing on the point. Oftentimes, either you want to start climbing up immediately, or sort of walk over just sort of this area, or fully into big door, because then it's a lot harder for like a sniper or anything to peek you from river. Here you do a job of instantly just sort of flooding past them, because they weren't in position to stop you. You want to try to take the Uber off a little bit quicker there, so you can get more cap time. So if you just had your demo and your heavy go to point instantly and took off Uber split second sooner, likely would have gotten the cap there. But regardless, since there's so much cap time, Spy's doing the right thing, trying to go behind. Probably should have just been cloaked to run in there. So be pretty scared to push out. Here your med goes forward too much, and it's picked there. If you're going to be going for like an aggressive contest, then big door's better, but in that situation, since their combo is forward and they had Uber, it would have been ideal to just sort of go up and play by your own choke, and then just be prepared to fight them when they push mid. Since you know they were near choke, usually it'd be better for your sniper to just sort of be back here watching them to make sure that you have to use as they come through. You guys managed to get the force with your demo and your soldier, but it seems like your demo is too close to choke there. Could have just spammed it long range into the soldier suicide, or just had the sniper hard scoping it. So oftentimes the sniper and then like a trap or just long range spam will be enough to force them, or at least get a kill on them as they push, and then you guys would be more equipped to contest mid faster instead of waiting for the demo spawn. Something I like to do when we're pushing through choke with advantage is heavy. I like to go drop down and just sort of sit right here and just kill people as they drop off and try to leave, because usually they'll never expect a heavy to be down there. And since it's just going to be like single players dropping down, it's very easy for a heavy to win a one-on-one in sort of this open ground there. I don't know where... Oh, your heavy is pretty darn passive. I guess just watching for a drop-down play, because they didn't go drop-down last time they pushed, I believe. Here you guys do a good job of getting the force, and then immediately going back up to choke to not let them repush at all. That's good. That's another thing to think about when you're like capping mid, is to make sure you have people walk up to choke and lock them out, so they can't just peek and contest you guys for free. Here Med does a good job of just sort of hiding and making sure they don't get sniped, as you were winning that fight so easily that Med made the smart choice of not committing to heal and risking their own death. Just an interesting play by Spy, trading for an NG. Here, since you guys have advantage, it'd be a decent option to just push through Shutter since their med's fairly close. What you guys like to do is a good job. You have the scout and maneuver. It looks like you didn't really send anybody lower, besides the scout who was like already down there. Usually, you want to send like a heavy and another class or two to lower, so they can just come through and clear people out from here, which can be kind of hard to kill from above, and then just they're able to immediately get onto point. A pyro works really well going lower, so does a heavy. You can send both of them or just one of those classes. With advantage though, it'd probably be better send a pyro and then just a heavy. You can just play top right by Shutter on the high ground. Their sniper's up by choke. Oh, wait, what am I seeing? Yeah, he's by choke, so just pushing across point, hiding behind the nipple would be better here. Looks like you guys sort of stall out and wait by your own choke before pushing forward. The best way to win mids is just to get aggressive before they do, and then just sort of leverage the nipple as cover as you pressure into them. If you're going up this side, something you can try is having your soldier sort of delay and then bomb up into them at the same time as your combo pushes across point. That'll distract them and allow you to get straight into their combo, and that will usually be a way that you can win mid pretty regularly. Looks like their flank sort of just killed your flank and wrapped him behind you. I don't really know what happened there. It's the only thing I could really see happening. In general though, like, the only way you're gonna lose second is if your flank bleeds players. Since it was even Ubers there, you guys definitely could have been holding by choke. Instead you guys are up top. That sort of makes it harder for your flank to live if there's going to be an Uber exchange. That also sort of makes it harder to have a successful Uber exchange because you guys are going to be up top and not really in a position to be like down right by the enemy team fighting them. Sometimes just like holding your choke and your Uber is going to be better. Wow, that soldier having some struggle aim. Here, yeah, heavy drops slower to fight the soldier down there. That's good by him. With your med being sniped there, usually it's safest to sort of play like right here as a med. Because you won't be able to be sniped from main. They'll have to peek super far to snipe you from river. And then if you're standing here and you're playing with the soldier up here, spamming, sort of juking, you can't get sniped from up there. And then if you're close, you'll be sort of set up. Something I like to do is play shutters heavy and have our soldier just sort of up here peeking and baiting them in, and then as they try to push forward I can just shoot them in the side as heavy, and you can usually get a pick or two very easily that way. Here again, like, if you had delayed a little bit for your soldier bomb, like, would have allowed you to walk up more easily. It just, because when you're walking up here, like, one pipe is just going to do so much damage that just having your soldier make space will help you win the mid. It's kind of hard to know, but their combo is way too aggro. It'd be really easy to force. You guys just fall back. Usually, like, forward holding is not really something you want to do. It just sort of opens you up to being picked. Managed to get a snipe with their man, that was really good. But in general, just setting up and holding last is going to be better. So you don't risk having your flank bleed in lobby and then getting rolled in the last. Since their sniper's down, pushing out through upper is probably going to be better, because then you can walk out a lot farther and contest point without taking as much spam from like choke and whatnot. So just going up top when their sniper's dead, it'll usually work out better. But if their sniper is alive and they come out here, then pushing up top is very risky. It's quite easy to just get body shot there. Here you guys sort of pop through and none of them are close. Then post-tuber you essentially end in a sniper sideline. Your sniper takes out their sniper, but looks like your med was sort of in front of your team. It just seems like the main sort of force of your flank and whatnot took too long to really get into mid, and so they were all sort of behind your med, and they weren't able to sort of flood in and finish off as many frags as you might have been able to otherwise. So just trying to maybe delay your Uber a few seconds to make sure your flank's ready to push in at the same time. Something that DK struggled with in previous seasons is making sure that our comm and our flank are ready to push at the same time. Here you guys go crits, which I'm not that big a fan of, because Uber is just so much stronger. Both the meds spawn at moderately at the same time, so you might have a small crits advantage. I guess actually it could be alright if you have a set play of like sending your heavy and pyro lower, baiting them to the point and then critsing on them. That could be an option, but here you guys get crits, but you delay like a good 5 seconds before using it. So just trying to make sure you're set up to crits as soon as you get it. And then your demo's too far forward and sort of gets cut off. But they seem to just ignore him and let him live there. But it seems like he could have ran away, just stayed in a little too long. There's soldiers using the shotgun. Wow. One thing I really like to do is, if you lose a few players, is just sort of hold deep in river, and then if they push into you and are like pushing into you river with their combo, then you can just drop down, go lower, lower, and run into last, and you'll almost always beat them there, and then get a free last cap. Works especially well if you have Uber like that. I guess actually that might have been crits. Here, I guess with no demo, you guys back out pretty well. Since you know that they're on Uber, usually be better to sort of try to play pretty far back, force them as they walk through, and then sort of like re-crits on the things that aren't being Ubered. So I guess playing up top with crits could work well, but you guys are sort of close choke, and that did not work out for you guys. But you managed to kill their meds, so that's good. So far the biggest thing I guess is just sort of when you're pushing or being pushed is your combos positioning is not really as good as it could be. So just trying to, I think if you guys focus on knowing the Uber advantage or disadvantage, that'll help you guys be a lot more successful when you're sort of trading over points. I'm assuming you're back on Uber, yep. Like I said earlier with the soldier there, something I like to do as heavy is just play shutter, because they only think they're gonna have to deal with the soldier here, and then you can just get free kills shooting him in the side. Here your demo's peeking, which can be good if you coordinate him to peek with other players as well. Like if you have your soldier or scout peek into lower, or if your demo peek there at the same time as your soldier peeks on the jump platform, that can be good, but he's sort of peeking alone there. I think that's why I got picked. Usually it's a lot better to just either not peek and just make sure you're all alive, or peek in like a big coordinated sort of swarm. The sniper just being allowed to sort of sit here for a while, that's something your spy or a flank class should really try to shut down early in the last fight. Even if you just like pistol the sniper and distract him, that can be helpful, because just being able to get free shots from this thing can be pretty destructive. Usually as heavy I'd only really recommend going lower if you have uber disadvantage, because if you're just down there alone for like a normal fight, it's pretty easy to get picked there, and then it sort of opens up your combo to get killed as well. And again, it seems like your med's sort of like running straight into the fights. Like on the mid push a while ago, your med was too far forward and got killed. And then that last hole just sort of ran straight into the points. Maybe just trying to have your med prioritized, just being really safe in living. Because if you guys had uber advantage here, definitely be able to take mid pretty easily. I am very confused as to why they're pushing, like... Do they realize that just pushing even Uber into a team that won't have to use instantly is a bad idea? The fuck? Regardless, like... You guys get 3 picks, that's 4th kill there. You know the spy just respawned, so pushing off this would be good, but your demo is like pretty far forward alone, fighting in river, which is not really something you want to be fighting as a demo. Especially alone. If you just sort of waited for the med and the heavy to be ready to push with them, you guys could have pushed out there. Oftentimes clearing lobby first is easier for the combo to do. Because you come through and you're sort of on the high ground shooting down on people in the lobby. Especially like in a post-super fight, because if the med was, if they uber through river, like none of the people who would be in lobby in a post-uber would have heals, so they'd likely all be pretty low health. Here you guys have uber, should be thinking about trying to push in as soon as you can, especially, whoa, you guys get a lot of kills there. It's just, normally DK leaves their NG at last to defend. Because with the midi and the shoddy, like, Spy's gonna have a hard time really doing anything. And the heavy being out here on second, and able to sort of shut down bombers, is usually more effective to keeping your med alive and not having to use. Here you guys have such big numbers that you could have just flooded through choke a lot sooner. Oftentimes just getting super aggro in Gullywash when you have numbers, like, they're not really going to be able to stop your push if you just sort of flood in and use your numbers. And just sort of getting all the positioning when you have the numbers advantage, they'll be a lot less inclined to uber into you. And then it's a pretty decent chance of you guys backcapping, especially if you just sort of take over second. They have to uber into you on second. Like, even if you have to give it up instantly, like, you'll have a chance to backcap, and the chance that their push out will fail. So just trying to get more aggressive off that mid capture there. Could have worked out. Here you guys have advantage. They're forward holding here for some reason. It's just sort of running right past them and going to last. Likely would have been better. Looks like you guys are going to get a bunch of kills here in lobby. You guys do a good job of getting cap time instantly, so it's good by your spy. Because just getting that point presence will just make the point cap so much easier. That's something that Deer really likes to do, is just he knows we're going to be capping second, he just immediately runs to last and is ready to decloak on the point. And so we're instantly capping last once we cap second. I must have gotten spun around. Oh, never mind. That was a mid-fight. Again, it sort of seems like you guys are clumped up on your side, but they were trying to go aggressive into you. So that's fine. Oftentimes, with soldiers on this mid and scouts can really dictate who wins and loses. Oftentimes, if they're big door and they're going to come up your side, you want your soldier to just bomb straight over and land into them and do like 3,000 damage as they're all clumped in this choke as he shoots rockets into them. And then if you see that their demo's up by their choke, you can just sort of delay with your soldier and then bomb up as your combo pushes. Here you guys lose a ton of players, so you just need to run for the hills. Your med is still quite close. Should definitely have backed up farther here. I'm really confused about this team's push. It's like they just uber in when both teams have uber and then the red stays in and dies. You guys do a good job of just backing off, not even needing to use and then coming back in. You guys just slowly work in, pressure them out without having to use, that's good. And then you combo moves up to choke, so you can't get contested, that's good again. You guys just waltz on in, and immediately start getting cap time. Not really sure what their scouts attempting to accomplish. He's trading for a pyro. Here you guys get forced in lobby. You could have tried climbing into river. It's usually easier to get into point when you guys climb in through river, or at least not to point to lobby and get lobby safely. Especially if you go into river and you see that they're all clumped in lobby, you can just run through river to last. My soldier is just missing shot after shot. He's trying to run the shotty. It's pretty entertaining. It seemed like people didn't really react to the fact that your meta was being attacked there. But yeah, usually just climbing up top and then walking this way is going to be safer to get into lobby and last than try to walk through shutter. And then time runs out. So overall, just I think focusing on knowing Uber advantages and disadvantages would improve your guys' play. And then with your last pushes, I guess just sending people lower to get on the point as your combo pushes forward can help your last pushes be more successful. But overall, really, like, as long as you guys just keep track of the Ubers, you guys should be very solid. Because that was really, like, the only thing that I noticed happening more than once. But best of luck, guys.